Hey, I'm Dustin. I'm about to go over the first encounter in the new instance, Heart of Fear, Imperial Vizier. Alright, so this guy is really simple. He has 3 platforms in which he does 3 different abilities on each, and then at the end, it's just a burn phase where he uses all of those abilities at the same time. There's one small mechanic that the tanks have to jump into, which is called Exhale. I'm just going to go over our video and show all of these abilities and break them down a little bit. When you pull the boss, it's going to randomly go to one of the platforms. You have to be prepared to follow him to that platform, and each platform has a specific ability associated with it. So for our kill, he went to the left platform, the Attenuate platform first. So this is going to shoot out some sound waves in a spiral pinwheel pattern. It's either going to go clockwise or counterclockwise. I'll show you what this looks like. Alright, here they come. This one is going to go clockwise. It can go counterclockwise as well. Just gonna let you see this in slow motion and just look at the pattern. Again, the spiral right here, boom, boom, boom. Very, very simple to avoid. Now you do want to be closer to the boss. The closer the boss you are, the easier it is going to be to avoid these. I'll show you again in the full speed. Alright, so you do want to be closer to the boss. The closer the boss you are, the faster you're going to be moving relative to the pattern. So you definitely need to get in there and just be, 4 or 5 yards away from him. Here's the pattern in the other direction. The boss has a huge hitbox, so melee shouldn't have any problem DPSing throughout this whole thing. He went to the Force and Verve platform for us second, and I'll show you what that looks like. So on this platform, the boss does an AoE Scream ability. Before he does that, he drops 3 shields. It's important that you set up some organization before the fight to deal with this mechanic. Let me pause the video. So basically, each shield can have up to 9 people in it. If you have more than 9, they won't receive any reduction that the shields provide from the boss's AoE ability. So how we dealt with this mechanic is I set up 3 groups. I did a near, a mid, and a far. It's a lot easier to assign the shields by distance from the boss than it is doing left and right, because the boss can throw 1 shield behind him and 1 in front, and left and right is very relative at that point. We put our melee in the center one, and we filled that with 9 people, as many as we could, because it's the least running. The middle, you should also normally be able to melee from the middle, but sometimes you won't be able to, even though the boss does have a very large hitbox. So for the middle or the far one, for us, we put the healers in the middle one because then they would have the least distance to run as well. And we always kind of err on the side of having more heals whenever we're starting a fight. So if your problem is DPS, not healing, maybe you want to put the DPS in the middle one and the healers in the far one. The last platform for us was the Mind Control platform. The boss is going to choose 5 targets, and they're going to be killing your raid until you get them down to 50% health or less. So you want to do that as fast as possible. We had weak auras made so that we knew to run in when he started casting Convert, but I think you can actually just be stacked up as a raid pretty much if there's a huge problem for you in the first place. There's just the Exhale ability that you have to worry about, which really shouldn't matter unless everyone's super close to the boss. The last part is just a burn phase. He goes down to the middle of the room, so you have a little bit more room to spread out. He's going to use all of the abilities that you saw from the previous 3 platforms. And it's really just having a handle on those 3 things and manage them when they come. Another thing about these spirals is that they split off when they get far away. You can see right here, like this one is about to, right there. So again, it's just more reason to be closer to the boss. The further away you are, the harder it's going to be to dodge those things. I did read on Icy Veins that the tank sometimes is mind controlled. We didn't have that happen, but we also didn't have a lot of pulls on this boss. So we did bring 2 tanks when we killed it, but really no idea if you need 2 tanks for normal mode or not. Last thing is that Exhale that I said I would talk about. It's not much of an issue. Basically, the boss is going to exhale on one of your raid members at random, and you want your tank to get into that beam. It is physical damage, so if you have some kind of short duration cooldown for that, then you want to have it timed and ready for that damage. Some of them will hit harder than others because of how the inhale works. It's really not that important. You can read the dungeon journal and get a handle on that. But you do want someone to jump into those beams. If you have 2 tanks, you can have an off tank do that. But here's what it looks like. So I have slow-mo, let's see, exhale, and boom, it's this yellow beam here. So you just stand in it. Very simple. Not a big deal. I believe the raid member gets stunned as well, so they can't really do too much about it. So try to have your raid, if people are stacking inside the boss, like right under him, it's a big pain. But if you have people, standing far enough away that you can see where it is and you can clearly get into it, it's not much of an issue. It's not much of an issue to begin with. Alright, that's it. Very simple fight on normal. Collect your loots. If you are having problems with this fight, hopefully it's isolated to one mechanic, and you can actually just have your raid take extra time on that platform. So if you're having issues with grouping up for the shields, when you get to that platform, just stop DPS and try to go through that mechanic a couple times. Maybe have a couple people switch to healers so that you can keep more of the raid alive longer, so that they have more time to figure that out. Hopefully nothing here gives you any problems. If you have any specific issues, leave a comment, and I'll probably respond to that pretty quickly. That's it. Thanks.